You mentioned in the preseason about being able to the ability to move Ashton around. What have you seen in fall camp and the other day that you like about it? And it looked like he is very successful when you can move him.
It's just that you can't zero in on where he is exactly, and you got to work a little bit to find him. And back in the day, we would put the three one way and the one, the three technique on one side and the five another side, and then kind of ensure single blocks. So all those things factor in.
You also talked about, during the off season, kind of going around and talking to some people, Phil Snow, going to Navy. What were some of your biggest takeaways from those conversations?
Oh, just there's a lot of ways to do things, and just some details, and maybe open your mind up to some things you haven't thought about, possibly. Um, but just being around good coaches is always a good thing. Being around guys with a lot of experience is always great.
Ron, given the context of other teams around college football, maybe struggling a little bit with some FCS teams, how satisfying was it for you to watch Louisville's defense from start to finish just pedal to the metal and not let up at all?
We just, these guys have goals and aspirations that go beyond here. I think they want to win. They want to win here, and then they have goals and aspirations post college. So I think they know for them to reach those goals and aspirations is what you put on those tapes. And so we just like to play. We want to play football. And I really have never had to say we're playing this opponent or that opponent. We want to play football, and we want to play as best as we can.
You've been all through the preseason pretty outspoken about how good you thought this defense was. Did they perform the way you thought, and did you have any reservations about being so complimentary about them?
Well, I wasn't trying to be outspoken. What I really was saying was that we have a lot of good players here, and you know, and you could say that. I mean, maybe I was a little outspoken, but we have a lot of good players here. I just told them before the game, I want to see you strain. That's what I want to see. I mean, if you want to be great on defense, you got to strain. Now, if you want to be average, you can just kind of move around. But if you want to be great, you got to strain. And I thought a lot of guys strained on a lot of plays.
Coach Brom said he's really pleased with the depth you have on defense. Uh, in a perfect world, how much would you play the first team and the second team? How much would you want to give guys blows during a game?
I don't look at it like that. We just want to now we have a couple players where there's a lot of separation. I think, but it's not more than two or three guys. So because the guys are so close, we want to keep them as fresh and healthy as possible because it's going to matter. And so we just want to play them. We want to make sure they get the reps.
Jeff spoke a little bit about planning for Rich Rod's offense. What's that look like for you?
He's a forefather of the offense. He's a forefather of the of that system. You know, all the gun run stuff, and he's proven years and years to be successful. So he's going to challenge you in a lot of ways. Your discipline, are you sound? Did you put your guys in the right position? They're going to be conflicted at times where they have to do exactly what they're told to do. And the coaches have to spend a lot of time making sure that we are telling them the appropriate things in terms of assignment and alignment.
Way back in spring, I remember you challenging TJ Capers to do more and push himself. It seems like he really took that challenge to heart and obviously came out there, had the interception this past week. How have you seen him grow between now and then, and how have you seen him continue to push himself harder?
I think he's 18 now, so that's part of it. But to be honest with you, I think that was whenever it was when they first asked me that question. But I mean, TJ's, I like him. I like him a lot. I like the way he plays. He's grown up. I mean, he was young, young. And he didn't understand that when we ask you to do something, we expect you to do it. Okay? It's not negotiable or any of that. So he's doing that now, and I'm happy for him, and the players are happy for him. They like him because he likes football. And he's fun to be around, and he's unselfish, and so it's good.
The secondary, a lot of guys made plays at different spots on the field. McDonald had a couple sacks. Your thoughts on how the rotation went? They seem to kind of thrive off each other, and your thoughts again on how the rotation
Yeah,
worked
they
out.
like each other. They like each other. I think we haven't had any issues in terms of selfishness, and think they just want to win and they want to play well. And you know, a lot of guys made plays, which they should. You know, we got a lot of veteran guys, a lot of old guys, so they should make plays. But I was happy with that, and just happy with the fact, and we just charted, you know, especially in the secondary, we charted, man. We try to keep it as close as possible in terms of rep count.
Ron, what did you see once Trammell got here? He was a little late. What did you see once he got here, and what has he done to kind of work his way into the mix, and what did you think the other day?
Well, I liked him in January. I was hoping he could come here in January. I really liked him. I thought he could help our defense in terms of what he does, what he's good at, what they've asked him to do, you know, in the past. He's just hard to block. I mean, he's a good pass rusher. I mean, we'll see how good he is because we know that the competition is going to stiffen here, and he's going to play some tackles that are big, long, athletic guys. But I like him. I like him. I like his attitude. I think he's a good guy. I think he plays hard. I think he can do multiple things. You know, he can drop, he can rush, he can do a lot of things. He does have an aptitude. He's learned this stuff pretty quick. So I'm excited for him and about him.
You guys got a shutout. Are there any other defensive markers that you chart and follow that your team hit that you were pleased with?
I do. I don't. You know, I don't talk about goals in here in this room. We really talk about three things. Okay, we talk about getting to the football. We don't say run to the ball or any of that. We say get to the football because you can try or you can do it. So we say get to the ball. The second thing is we want to be physical. We want to be physical. And the third is we want to be disciplined. So whatever words you use, accountability, discipline, trusting your teammates, however you want to say it, but those are really the three things. Now, as a byproduct of that, you got to stop the run in today's world. You got to be good on third down, and you got to limit scoring. So those are some goals that I chart, but we don't really say, okay, guys, these are our goals. That's not how we talk to them.
Oh, I believe Stanquan Clark was the only underclassman to start on Saturday. What have you just seen from him, and how has he been able to progress so quickly?
He's been lights out the last 2-3 weeks. Unbelievable. He's practiced as well as he's practiced since he's been here, and he needs to. He needs to. We're counting on him. He's our Mike linebacker right now, and we're counting on him to be a really good football player for our team in a lot of ways. He's got to be mature enough to communicate. He's got to get lined up properly. He's got to make football plays. He's got to stay locked in. So I'm pleased with him. He was one of the first guys I met with when I came here, and I didn't know that he and his mom were really evaluating whether they were going to come here. And we met right here in this room and watched football and talked football and got to know each other a little bit. So he's kind of like, you know, one of my little babies, one of my, you know, my firstborn. But the thing with Stanquan is he's just still maturing. But there's going to be a day when he is mature, and when that happens, he's going to be a problem for people. We don't try to understand that. We try to say this is what we need you to do, and we press. And we press. And we got great kids here, great young men. They let us press them, but we press them. We press them at all times because our goal is to help them reach their goals, and their goals are big. So our jobs as coaches every day is to coach them as hard as we can and be good at what we do. Be good at what we do and develop them, but we want to coach them hard as we can, and we don't want to make any excuses for them. Thank you.